What has been the biggest shock to you guys coming from like France to Canada?
How people are, because so sorry. Maybe
No,
you
no,
want to
you-
expand on cold.
Actually, you are. Yeah.
So we, as like non-Canadian people, always see Canadian people as being super nice, super friendly. They go towards other people, which is true, but I feel like it's true in a superficial way. Maybe I'm not
Okay.
not criticizing
shade.
Canadian people. It's just that I feel like as students, international students, we've had a lot of trouble making friends and meeting new people, and we tried to speak to Canadian people, and it just seems as though maybe it's just Ottawa, but they all have other friends outside of school, and so they don't need us, or they don't need new friends, and so they don't.
Really?
Yeah,
This is
we
nice.
barely met any Canadian people, and when we try and speak to them, they're nice on like a superficial way. Like in class, we can laugh and stuff, but if we want to send them messages or ask to go and have a drink or something, I feel like I'm bothering them. So
Yeah.
I feel bad. So I don't talk to them.
Like we have been here since September, and we are middle of March, and I can say that I have like became friends with like two girls.
Two girls.
Two
That's
girls.
all. Me
That's
too.
all.
And we that's our common
Yeah,
friends.
yeah, and other than that, like we've met other French people who are also in exchange, and I feel like in 2 days we've had deeper conversation with them, and maybe there's a little bit of like the language barrier that doesn't help. But in France, we would just like, hey, do you want to grab a beer after class? And we would just go at a bar,
Yeah.
like even a Monday or a
Yeah, we
like
don't wait
Thursday.
until weekends to go out.
That and also our bars are way more crowded than here.
I think you call it patio season,
Patios?
patio
How do you
season
see
here.
the?
And we have that all year round. Like in winter, since it doesn't get below -3 maximum, big maximum.
Yeah, that's the
Like
Okay.
people still go and have a beer outside, and so like if I, for example, meet you tomorrow, I'm gonna say, oh, do you want to go and grab a beer? My friends are gonna come, so you can invite friends, and so your group of friends is gonna come, my group of friends is gonna come, and so we just have a big group of people at like having a
Everybody
beer.
mingles and
Yeah, and everybody
becomes
meets
friends.
each other, and then you just most of the time you have like parties at other people's places. You don't really like go to like bars and clubs. It's like you do. I mean, you do a lot, but when you have like deeper relations with people and deeper friendships, you go to like people's places more than outside. I feel like what you're saying about people not really wanting to commit to a relationship and getting more interested in situationships, as we call it today, that's more of a thing in Europe too, and in France. Like you could, speak to someone for 2 months, sleep at their place nearly every day, and then just at one point just never talk to them again. That happens too, but I feel like it's very different because here I feel like I don't know the relationships seem more like deep on like the surface kind of
Okay.
way, whereas in France it's more like it doesn't look that deep, so so the attachment is different basically.
Is there a term for it? Like here, what do you call it? Friends with benefits or no strings attached? Do you know what I
we
mean?
have that.
What,
We
what,
have
what, what's the French term? Is there a term?
plan cul.
Plan cul is
Plan
like
cul.
when you just have sex with a person.
It came from like a butt style.
Yeah.
I hate this. It's
What
Yeah,
is
it's not very nice, but then you have like we use sex friends too, like we say sex friends
Yeah.
sometimes, and then we
Oh.
can. There's also like different
Mon bail.
words, un bail,
okay?
which is just a word to say like,
Yeah.
oh, he's the guy I'm seeing right now, mon bail.
How important do you think it's to in the future to be like multilingual? I'm not talking about 2 or 3, to like learn as many languages as possible. Do you think that's more important than ever before, or no?
It's always an asset to speak different like languages, but I think what's a real asset is to understand the like cultural aspect of what the language you learn. So not just learn English, but learn the culture related to like the English language, or the culture related to a country you're going in. And I think that's really important, because when you learn the culture around Spanish, around Italian, around, I don't know, Peruvian, Mexican, whatever, I think that's really the added value. You can find it here. because just learning how to read a book or how to write like a sentence isn't enough. You have to be like, if you want it to be an added value for you, learn the culture too, and you can do that while learning the language.
Be a better place, but
It helps people understand one another more, and it helps people to it pushes people to discover other things, other people, other cultures. Whereas when you only know one language, you kind of have this superiority complex, I guess, where you think that, like for example, English, oh, because everyone can speak it, then I don't care about what other people do and what other people's cultures are.
Alright, what is up folks? So welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say that this channel has gained over 5,000 new subscribers in just the past 4 weeks. Thank you to everybody who recently subscribed. Thank you guys for all of your support. And I want to mention a couple of things here from this video. So I recorded this interview over a year ago, and this interview lasted for about 45 minutes, right? And I have to be totally honest, it's been a massive breath of fresh air. And just sitting there and talking to these two exchange students from France, just how feminine and how based they are. It's also one of the many reasons why I've decided to leave Canada. I honestly think that Canada, along with the United States, have some of the lowest quality of women anywhere you can find in this world. I do believe that there are still good women out there in this world, but it's extremely difficult to find that in North America. So many of these women, they're so woke and so indoctrinated. They have been groomed by our social media, by our education systems. They've been taught from day one to hate men. And also, if you guys have been paying attention to the first part of the video, these two ladies, even they said it to themselves, they're having trouble making female friends in Canada, okay? If these two young, gorgeous, talented, smart young ladies, if they're having trouble making female friends in Canada, what kind of chances do you think a guy like me will have in this country? And I know I will trigger some people by saying this. Do you guys want to know why these two young ladies are having trouble making friends in Canada? They're absolutely right. Most Canadians are a bunch of fake liberal snowflakes. That's why they keep voting for people like Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland. By the way, Justin Trudeau has won the 3 elections in a row. He has completely destroyed this country beyond the recognition, but people here still support him. It's unbelievable. In the city where I live in Ottawa, so during the last election, over 60% of the residents in Ottawa voted for Justin Trudeau. I think the future of our world is truly doomed. I think many Canadians are extremely shallow. They pretend to be nice people, but if you actually dive deep down, most of these people are a bunch of narcissists and they're a bunch of bigots. They're forced to say the stuff that they truly don't believe in so that they don't get fired from their job or get expelled from school. And do you guys want to know why these two young ladies are having trouble making female friends? Okay, I'll tell you this. Women do this subconsciously. For example, well, these two ladies, obviously, they're very attractive, very young, very beautiful, very talented. Let's say if they approached a Canadian woman that's average, let's say mid, okay? The reason why that, average Canadian girl doesn't want to make friends with these two is because that these two are way more attractive than the average Canadian girl. So what happened, if they were formed a group of friends and if they went out to the public, so all the guys will be focusing their attentions on these two instead of the girl that's actually mid. See, women do this, they don't even think about it, they do it subconsciously. So what most women end up doing is that they actually want to find another female friend that is, let's say, between 2 to 4. They want a woman that's well below average. This way, let's say if they're mid or slightly above average, if they're 6, when they go out in the public, the guys, and they won't pay any attention to their female friends who are below average looking. When I conducted this interview, they've been living in Canada for close to a year now, and they're really struggling to even make any female friends. They keep getting rejected by Canadian girls. This is due to extreme jealousy. And I want to mention a couple things, okay? Some people have mentioned, why the hell do I have a, wet lube on my shelf? First of all, this is for my bike, okay? On top of being a runner, I'm also a triathlete. And to the people making fun of my Chinese accent, first of all, after I came to Canada, especially after I moved to Ottawa, I actually made the effort to learn English and French because I'm sure many of you guys understand if you live in the national capital region in Canada, by the way, Ottawa is the capital of Canada, unless you have proficient levels in both English and French, you won't be able to get a job. So I actually made the effort to learn a second and third language. Some of you guys making fun of me. I'm sure that 90% of you can't even count from 1 to 10 in Spanish. In fact, some of you guys can barely speak English properly. And if you're wondering, okay, why didn't I ask one of these ladies out? Okay, I have to be 100% honest. I'm totally broke right now. I was doing a lot better when I actually had a full-time job until 2018 when I decided to go back to school. So first I applied to go back to college in 2018. Then in 2020 I applied to go back to university. So 6 years of post-secondary education. That's a lot of tuitions to pay, and obviously I have to reduce my work hours to work part-time. So I racked up a lot of student loans and the line of credit. So I gotta focus on turning around my situation financially first before I look to date any woman. Because what am I gonna do? Take my girl to Wendy's or Starbucks for a first date? Come on, let's be serious. And once again, I want to thank everybody that has joined my channel this month. So I have one more video that's coming up on this Wednesday. Then on Saturday, it is Pride Month. I will have lots of unique contents coming up for Pride Month. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.